Now on the Locked On Celtics podcast, the Boston Celtics came this close to blowing a 34-point lead, but Jaylen Brown triple-double was awesome. Payton Pritchard saved them in the fourth quarter, and I love Hugo Gonzalez.
Locked On Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Where does your team every day? Your team's the Boston Celtics. I talk about them Monday through Friday. I've got bonus podcasts when they play on weekends and throughout the day, throughout the week. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. I just dropped a bonus podcast. The Keith Smith episode was an hour long, so I just dropped 2 podcasts. So much Keith Smith talking about the off-season moves, the filling the roster spots, just so much transactional stuff. So check that out. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Watch the show on YouTube. I'm John Karalis. If you're new to the show, I'm covering the team for Sports Illustrated's Celtics on SI. I've been covering the team for 20 years, been doing this podcast for 10, and I have a couple books out about the team as well. Today's show is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. You can have your cake and drink it too. Birthday cake flavor is back. No fork needed, vanilla-y, cakey flavor, caffeinated kick, no sugar. It's party time. Order now at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Boston Celtics get the win. Whoop, that's a button that should, if you're on YouTube, I should have a graphic here. There we go. It's late. The Celtics played out west. It's a 10 p.m. It was a 10 p.m. start. So we're late into the morning. Early into the morning. Either way, the Celtics won by 11. They were up by 34. Later on, we'll talk about the reunion with Al Horford and Kristaps Porziņģis and my just infatuation with Hugo Gonzalez. That kid is just good. I think he's going to be great. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about Jaylen and Payton. But let's just start at the beginning where the Celtics, the game flow. First quarter, it was back and forth. They put up 36 points, but they allowed 32. The Warriors came out super hot. In fact, the way the Warriors played in this game, it was just up and down. It felt like 7 seconds or less. The old Phoenix Suns with Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni, they were just coming down and firing. They just put up a ton of shots. The Celtics got a million second chances. They got 13 offensive rebounds. But they couldn't win the field goal attempts battle. They put up 95. The Warriors put up 96. They just played at this incredible pace. It was dizzying for a while. And in the first quarter, the Warriors were 8 of 17. 8 of 17 in one quarter of play is an outrageous number of three-pointers and three-point attempts and shot attempts and all of that. And they had it within 4, but then the Celtics blew it open in the second quarter, piled on a little bit in the third quarter. Jaylen got his triple-double in a matter of 26 minutes. And it really felt like the fourth quarter was just going to be total garbage time. I was starting to write my post-game story about how they went up 34 and they coasted the rest of the way. And it was going to be – I was looking forward to some Delano Banton and John Tanji and Amari Williams and all of these guys. And all of a sudden, the Warriors went into first of all, hit a ton of shots. Secondly, they started pressing, and Payton Pritchard said, I have not seen a diamond press like that since maybe high school, AAU, maybe college. It's not something you typically see, but the Warriors, it's funny that you get into desperation mode, and in the fourth quarter, you can throw this stuff out there, and with time running out, like the Celtics are just trying to run out the clock, basically. You're up 34. And the Warriors throw this crazy little press, and the Celtics are a little bit passive, take your foot off the gas. They have Luka Garza out there. They have Payton Pritchard as the main guy to just try to close this out a little bit. And it was just a weird mix of players. And here come the Warriors. They just went nuts, and Jaylen Brown had to come back into the game. And that's the worst feeling, especially when you're somebody like Jaylen Brown, when you're a starter you're up 34, whatever it was after 3 quarters, and you're just chilling. You're on the bench. You're just like, oh man, you untie your shoes. You got like some, maybe not ice on your knees, but you're just kind of like relaxing. You're no longer locked in. You're joking around with your teammates. And then you just see the other team hit a couple of shots and a couple of really bad turnovers. And you just start like, okay, guys, like, what are you doing here? And you could tell it got down to 15 real fast. And it just was like, oh no, they're going to have to get Jaylen back in. And you saw Joe call for Jaylen, and it took a minute. He had to get himself back together to get back into the game. So that's a tough thing. And credit to the Warriors. They just never gave up and all of that. But Celtics, I'm not going to overreact to it. They thought they had it. The Warriors, put some kind of crazy run together. Ultimately, you win by 11. It's fine. It's fine. It happens. There are times when I might say you took your foot off the gas and you blew it, but up 34, I'm not too worried about that. But the way they got up 34 was a lot of fun. This was the best passing and cutting game I've seen from them maybe all season, especially those middle quarters. So I looked it up on Synergy Sports. The Celtics are the 5th worst team in the league in terms of the percentage of cuts during a game. They're somewhere like 5.3% of their offense is cuts. And so that's really amounts to a few plays here and there. And some of those cuts end up, they're not even really cuts to score. They're sacrificial cuts. It's not really part of their offense. So 5% of their offense, generally speaking, is cuts. In this game, 12% of their made baskets, not even just attempts, 12% of their made baskets were off of cuts. So honestly, almost 3 times as much or a little bit more than twice as much, however you want to. I like saying almost 3 times as much because it seems like more, it feels like more. But either way, they were cutting. They were, baseline cuts. They were the 45-degree cuts. They were straight down the middle in transition. The pass from Sam Hauser to a cutting Nikola Vucevic was beautiful. Just the way Hauser just kind of was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to had it in his right hand and I'm looking that way and bloop, bloop, little like a quarterback dumping it to his running back over the middle. It was beautiful. The pass from Keita cutting to a cutting Derek White was beautiful. Backdoor cuts from Hugo Gonzalez that Derek White found him. Beautiful plays. People who listen to my show on a regular basis, you everydayers who are with me all the time, Monday through Friday, I got people tweeting at me saying, when somebody cuts, people know whenever I'm on Twitter, when you cut, you score. That's just, if you're somewhere on the floor and you're not a main guy, if you're not Jaylen Brown, a high usage guy, cut and you will score more often than not. This was just my kind of offense. I love it. And then that turns into the drive and kick offense because when the defense is worried about the cutters, they're not really worried about the guy who's got the ball anymore because they're just now your head's on a swivel. So those drives happen. The help is a little bit late. And then instead of cutting, that person just relocates and that person now catches and shoots a 3. The whole thing flows into a beautiful offense. It wasn't like that the whole game, but It was like that for a lot of the game. And that's why it was a super efficient night. The Celtics shot 51.5%. They were 42.5% from three. They only went to the line 7 times, but neither team went to the line. They got a ton of second chances. They got in there for offensive rebounds. Aside from a couple of lulls here and there, maybe a little stat hunting here and there when the game gets out of control. The fourth quarter where the Celtics kind of got discombobulated. Mostly the Celtics offense was beautiful, and bottle that up. I want to see that all the time. Jaylen Brown, Payton Pritchard, both shots 10 of 18 in this game. They were great. Payton bailed them out in the fourth quarter a little bit. We'll talk about their performances when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. The Winter Olympics are here, and you can bet on them. But more importantly, the NBA Finals are around the corner, and you get a chance to watch them in person through the NBA sweepstakes on FanDuel. Use your profit boost on any NBA future on FanDuel, and you will automatically be entered for a shot to win a trip to the NBA Finals for 2, flights, tickets, whole experience on FanDuel. So you make a bet on a profit, use your profit boost on an NBA future. So pick a champion, pick a conference champion, whatever it is, lock it in, and you can get entered into this sweepstakes here. So it's just an added layer of excitement, and potentially you get to get not only your picks cash in, but a trip to watch. Is it maybe the Celtics? Maybe the Celtics to win the finals is your future to bet. So check it out. Go to FanDuel.com, get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future to get entered for your chance to win this trip to the NBA Finals. Make sure you are setting your limit, set your budget, so you're gambling responsibly. If you hit that limit, FanDuel will step in and help you stop, and we'll just pick it back up later when you can replenish your funds. So gamble responsibly at FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Today's show is also brought to you by Quo. It's a new year. It's new systems. This is where you look at things that have gotten messy with your business and you say, there's got to be a better way. And there is. Streamlining your communications. It's easily a quick, maybe the quickest upgrade that you can make. And that's why Quo is here to help you run your business communications in a very intelligent, smart way. So the key when you're talking about your communications is, can you get everybody on the same page? Can you get everybody understanding what conversation did you have with this customer? And that's what Quo does. You can call and text from one shared business number so it doesn't look weird when somebody's getting a call from your business. Everybody sees the full conversation thread. So that makes replies faster, more personal, more accurate. And their smart AI tools automatically log calls, summarize conversations, highlight the next steps. So details never slip through the cracks. Use it from your phone or your computer, and you'll see why Quo is the #1 rated phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses like yours. So make this the year where no opportunity, no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA, Locked On NBA Game Night. They're both in the same feed. You get 2 podcasts on one feed. Game Night, they're probably putting that show out right now as I record this. They're covering every game in the league, so you get a summary of every night, every game. That's 7 days a week. Locked On NBA gives you 5 days a week, the big stories in the afternoons. So get both podcasts wherever you found this podcast. Jaylen Brown had 23 points, 15 rebounds, 13 assists. The rebounds are the big thing for Jaylen. Celtics defensive rebounding has improved. Jaylen getting in there, getting the boards has been a big part of this. So really nice to see that. Dick Leip, stats guru at NBC Sports Boston, says Brown is the first Celtic since Larry Bird to have at least 15 points and 13 rebounds in a 20-point triple-double. So that's just him and Larry. Just Jaylen, this season has been really great, and good for him for getting himself into some of these conversations with Larry Bird. We know Jayson Tatum's done that a lot. And Jayson has piled up a lot of these accolades. Jaylen making the most of this opportunity and getting in on some of that as well. Jaylen was super efficient, 10 of 18 shooting. A couple of things. First of all, just offensively, his ability to score is really just incredible. And he had this reverse pivot spin move. Like, dude, I didn't know you had that. And he's just become a lot more fluid as a scorer. But he had one pass out to Jordan Walsh in the corner. It was just this 3 levels of defense, right? The first level is the guy who's guarding you. And guys at Jaylen Brown's level, you don't even see that guy. The second level is in a pick and roll, like with Vooch. It's who's Vooch's defender. And the third level is who's the help behind him. And it's hard, right? You don't see that. You got to be a high level player to be able to read, you got your guy. What's your guy doing? Is he going under a screen, over the screen? What's he doing? How's the big man? Is he up to touch? Is he rolling? What's he doing? And then you've got the low man at the baseline who is coming over as Vooch rolls, and Vooch's role is a very important element of this, but he comes over to tag Vooch. And so Jaylen is just super patient. He's not rushing. He's not just looking for his shot. He's not just looking for the roll man. He's patient and reading the floor. This one play, and I do focus on one play from time to time that highlights these things, because when they do it, you're like, oh, this is them at their best. This is what they're capable of. So when Jaylen, if he gets away from this stuff, I'm like, hey, wait a second. I saw you do this. I saw you read that third level of defense and make the play where Vooch was rolling down the middle, and a lot of players will just make that pass. He's there, but they don't really register the help coming from that baseline. And it might have resulted in a block. It might have resulted in a foul, or a foul that doesn't get called, or challenge at the rim that in a miss. And who knows how that play goes. But Jaylen just being patient, read, corner 3, cash, beautiful stuff. And Payton Pritchard after the game highlighted that as well, that Jaylen has become a guy who can read all of this defensively, can read all of this stuff and make the right plays. The criticism of Jaylen is that he doesn't always, but he does it more often. And that is still a progression. He's almost 30. And did he turn 30? But either way, he's still learning and growing as a player. So love that. The triple-double was great. The rebounding was incredible. Just to get in there and grab some of these, he's getting in there and grabbing like meaningful boards too, not just the free throw ones or whatever. He's getting in there. He's not just rebounding what's around him. He's rebounding outside of his zone, which is an important element to it. So can't say enough about how Jaylen, and look, the Warriors are not great, right? No Steph. Obviously Jimmy Butler's out. Draymond Green's a shell of himself and is really nothing without Steph at this point. So you take advantage of that, but he was great. And then got to shout out Payton Pritchard, who was also 10 of 18. He hit some bombs in this one, 6 of 11. The Celtics were 17 of 40 from three. Jaylen Brown was 0 for 3. Derek White was 0 for 5. If I told you, guess the Celtics shooting percentage, and Jaylen Brown, give you that Jaylen Brown was 0 for 3 and Derek White was 0 for 5, guess the Celtics shooting percentage. I don't know how many people would come up with 42.5%, 17 of 40. But you get Payton Pritchard shooting 6 of 11, Sam Hauser 4 of 5. And so that just Payton carried the shooting. But beyond that, 2 of his 3-pointers were from 27 feet. One was from 30 and one was from 35. And the 30 and the 35 both came in the fourth quarter when the Warriors were making their run. It got from 30 plus down to 15, 12, 11. And Pritchard hits those 2 shots, gets it back up to 18, and gives the Celtics just enough wiggle room for them to carry this through and finish it off. But Pritchard, and he kind of blew off the question after the game about coming off the bench and starting and all of that stuff. And because the question, it's a question you kind of like continue to have to ask sometimes, but also he's kind of getting a little tired of it. He's playing more minutes as a reserve, and just the way the minutes that he gets, he's just making the most of them. And he's been great. 26 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds for Pritchard. I talked about this on the podcast the other day. I wrote about it on SI.com. This back door to becoming a Celtics legend is right there for Pritchard. On his own, his final numbers will never look like something you compare him to the Celtics greats. But as a 6th man, all of a sudden the legend of Pritchard the 6th man, this right here is the building of a legend of Pritchard as the 6th man, because he's coming off the 6th man of the year award. He started and was okay, and then he gets to the bench, and now he's having this stretch of 25, 26, 23-point games. And you're like, wait a second, this dude is a monster off the bench. And now you start to talk about him in terms of Havlicek and Kevin McHale and like all of these legendary 6th men that the Celtics have had. The 6th man is a Celtics thing. That's a Celtics specific kind of specialty. Even though everybody's got 6 men, the Celtics have this special because Havlicek did it and is known as like the first. This is a potential for Pritchard to cement himself as part of this lineage. It's incredible, but he can do it. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap it up. I got to get to Hugo Gonzalez. I got to get to some of these other individual performances, and then we'll talk Al and KP in just a moment. Today's show is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. It's time for another 5 Hour Energy flavor draft. We're looking at every aspect of the draft to let you know which tasty flavors are the best and which just might be sleepers. The board is set. The flavors are ready. And only one is going to take the top spot. 5 Hour Energy shots give you a boost with 0 sugar. And now yesterday, I did my first pick in this, going through a few, and I settled on grape as my first pick. It's simple, but it's purple, and it's tasty, soft, rounded sweetness, smooth, almost syrup-like fruit profile, classic purple candy style finish. Reminds me of my childhood. My second pick is going to be strawberry watermelon. Not as sweet. It's sweet, but also tart. It's got a little candy-like flavor to it as well. The ultimate flavor duo, some flavors just made to go together. Add strawberry and watermelon to that list of delicious pairings. Now, there are others, and I think if you want to be, I clearly have a style. You want to go sour apple, the apple that bites back. It's crisp and tangy, deliciously tart. It's bold, a little sweet, but a lot sour. That could be the sleeper in this. So you can check them all out at 5 Hour Energy. That's the number 5, 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Find your new favorite at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Now become an everydayer. Join us at lockedonceltics.supercast.com. Sign up there, $5 a month or $50 for the year. So you save a couple months there. You get ad-free audio, which is compatible with all the major podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, all the big ones. And you get access to our Discord server, Celtics chat, NBA chat, and a whole lot more. LockedOnCeltics.supercast.com. I'll drop that link in the show notes as well. Individual performances outside of Jaylen and Payton. I mentioned Sam Hauser. The 16 points was a plus 22, 5 assists. Just a nice, he's just having a really nice overall year. I thought the Vooch-Kata thing, this is just a little bit of a tough matchup for Kata. Vooch was good. Kata started kind of not so great and then kind of picked it up a little bit, had his moments, but the way the Warriors were playing was just a high speed. They're not huge, and it's a little tough. Kata hit the deck a couple of times. I don't know if he tripped over himself or turned his ankle, but it wasn't the best matchup for Kata. Like I said, Vooch was okay, spaced the floor, did a decent job, got a few offensive rebounds. This was an opportunity, I think, for the Celtics to go small a little bit more. Maybe they could have used a little bit more Jordan Walsh, but he was okay in 7 minutes. Not great. Hit that one shot. Shireman had a moment where he got a steal and went full court, and I don't know, he just didn't have the legs. He got up and didn't dunk it, and Derek gave him the thumbs down, which is a funny moment. But, Baylor doing his thing, getting the rebounds, just filling in some gaps. So just kind of an okay game. Ron Harper was, he played just about 12 minutes. I loved his confidence. He's shooting with confidence. He belongs. He feels like he belongs, and that was great to see. Garza gets in for 2 minutes, and it was part of a just disaster lineup. 2 minutes, he was a -9. Ugh. So not a great stint there. Okay, so that's all the individual performances except for Hugo Gonzalez, who this kid, man, 12 minutes, 7 points, 4 rebounds, but just finds his way to making great plays. He had one play, third quarter, where Pritchard drives, gets it out to Hugo, who's spaced. He's in the right spot for the outlet. Boom. Kick, touch pass. Boom. Touch pass to the corner. As soon as he touch passes, he relocates just a few steps up the sideline. So he loses his defender a little bit. Then the swing comes right back to him. It's a behind the back move. First of all, it's a dribble one way, change directions behind the back. Then the Pinoy step where the ball comes up and around, and then it's a lefty finish. And I'm just like, man, this kid is too smooth. He has these moments where he's just not thinking, he is reacting. And the natural basketball instincts kick in, and he makes these plays. He's like, I see it. I can see the defense. Give me the ball. Boom, touch pass. Boom, I got to move this way. Boom, got it. This move, bam, bam. Get into the lane. Pinoy's, boom. You want this ball? There it is. Nope, you ain't got it. And then natural lefty finish. When he does that stuff, that just hooks me like a drug. I see it. I see the potential. I see that just because it's natural instincts. That's not him trying to execute a play. That's not him thinking about, okay, what's the scout on this? Blah, blah, blah. I got to set this pick. No, that's just him. I see the floor, right? I just see it. I can feel it. I can feel the defenders. I'm just making a play. When he does that, you see the full potential in this kid. I'm not backing off any of my stuff with Hugo Gonzalez. I think he has not unlimited potential, but this is me holding back a little bit because I don't want to sound stupid right now with what I want to say, with what I think he can be. But I'll just put it this way. And I think I might have said this before. Whenever it comes time for Brown and Tatum to hand the reins off to somebody, I think that somebody's going to be Hugo Gonzalez. I think he's going to be the guy. People are going to wonder what happens after Brown and Tatum leave. And I'm saying they got their guy. They got him. Trust me, they got him. He's going to need help. But he is going to be one of the centerpieces of this next generation of Celtics. Whenever this window closes, he's going to be part of the next window opening. And I don't know how far they need to fall. I don't know how bad they need. People talk about tanking right now. I don't know if the Celtics are going to need to tank. They've got their guy. I believe in Hugo that much. Is he going to be a number one? Is he going to be a number two? I don't know. That part, I don't know. I don't know how good he's going to get. The instincts, the ability, he's got size, he's got the attitude, he's having fun, he's hyper competitive. He's all the ingredients are there for the future. Okay, I got to stop gushing. Okay? Just know that I love Hugo Gonzalez. I think he's going to be special. Al Horford, Kristaps, Porziņģis were there. It's interesting to see. Well, first of all, Porziņģis played. That's good. Played 17 minutes. He had a couple of decent moments, but also the Celtics targeted him and made a big run by putting him in actions and going at him. Payton Pritchard drove at him, and they know exactly how to handle him. And he even said it before the game. These guys know the exact scouting report on me. It's going to be very interesting. Al Horford did not shoot well at all. Had a couple of fun moments there. Hugo got him. He got a foul on Horford, and they had like a little fun moment. The interesting comment from Al Horford talking about it was basically saying it was beyond just the basketball of why he left. It wasn't just Tatum is done for the season and I want to go have a chance to win. And it wasn't just that. He said it was something deeper, which no one really knows what that is. He said he's going to tell somebody someday. I still think that it has something to do with his son. I think the deeper thing is him teaching his son what it means to be a professional in the NBA and going elsewhere to find your value. That I'm just taking a complete stab here. I'm taking a complete guess. This may not be it at all, but I think he's trying to teach his son about the league. I think he's trying to teach his son about valuing yourself and making tough decisions and having to be willing to go to another city to maximize your value. And we love it in Boston. The Horfords love the city of Boston. His whole family does. But they weren't in the position to pay. The Warriors were. And the deeper meaning, like Al might have just wanted to stay. But the deeper meaning is, in my estimation, my guess, that his son is he's looked at as a potential future NBA player. And all the people that talk about him playing basketball think he can be a really special basketball player. And Al has been a very shrewd businessman throughout all of this. And now that Ian is old enough to see it for himself and to have liked Boston and liked everybody there, and to be like, hey, I have this opportunity. This is a massive lesson. We're going to teach this kid the right thing to do business-wise and not feel like he's going to be stuck by the business of the NBA. That's my guess. My guess is this was an important lesson for his son to learn, to teach him how to be a professional. Maybe I'm wrong. Entirely possible. It's something completely unrelated. But if we're guessing, speculating, that's my speculation. So we'll see. But it was good to see them. They didn't have any real impact on the game other than, I think, Porziņģis kind of being a target, and Al, to some degree, being a target for the Celtics to attack and score. That'll do it. The Celtics don't play again until Sunday. Oh, by the way, if you're still here on Sunday, I am going to be, I did the Q&A. People asked me, can you do a game where we can watch with you? I'm doing that Sunday on Castable, the Castable app, which is on my social media, my Twitter, my Blue Sky. Castable, download that app. I will be doing the game Sunday, Celtics Lakers. So download the app, join me in that room. I'll basically be sharing my thoughts, and you can be in the chat it's very much like a Twitch stream or something else. You'll be in the chat, I'll be talking, and we can interact that way. So that'll be Sunday. So check me out there. Of course, post-game Sunday, I'll have a podcast after Celtics Lakers, which will be an interesting game. So please check it out and share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.